Hello, welcome back to another video. It's Friday the 18th of October. It's 2 weeks since we did our verification video. We put all the products on and we left it over the weekend to see what would happen if it didn't get watered in. Well, it did get watered in for 3 days and then it did, and I showed you the results in Monday's video. So let's just have a recap of how it looked after the weekend. So as you can see there, it just blackened off slightly, but then as it kicks in, we end up with this behind me. So last Friday, 1 week ago, I went on with bays, and you can see now why we've called it bays, because we've got very consistent surfaces. It's not cured it by all means, it's not 100% effective, but what it has done is reduce the amount of worm casts we've got and significantly reduced the size. And we know that from last year because I used to get Mr. Whippy sized ones over this area and down the bottom end, but now we're only getting like little tiny ones. So that's good. So what we're going to do is today, we're going to give it a verticut first. I'm not going to cut it first. I'm going to go straight on with the verticutter because I want to limit the amount of machines that's going on there today. I don't want to be cutting it, verticutting it, cutting it with the rotary again, then with the cylinder. That's too much. But what we will be doing is taking our tip from Monday's video, which is we're just going to be cutting doubles today, so we're not passing over the same area 4 times to create a 4 with stripe. So first thing we're going to do is get the verticutter out and give this lawn a verticut. Just before we get on with the verticut, let's just have a quick walk over. You can see it's looking lovely and not lush. I'm not going to say lush because lush means it's soft and it breaks easy, it just stays sitting down, but it's just nice. There's no other word for it. It's just nice. This time of year, it's a lovely colour. It's not too thick. You can still see the soil if we go quite close. See the gaps. It's lovely. So what we're going to do is, like I said, get the verticutter. And the reason we're verticutting as well is we're going to pick up some of these things which I know the rotary cutter won't pick up. So let's go and get it all out. Now what I did do before I started filming, I just quickly blew all the leaves off. This was just so I didn't have to go on with the hater first. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with this cartridge or new to the channel and you've not seen it used yet, this is the Alec grooming cartridge. There's got more blades on than the verticutting cartridge. I think there's like twice as many. So in the verticutting cartridge, you're missing those, but in this one we've added more onto it just to make it more effective. So what this does, just rides along the surface of the soil. It never enters the soil when it's a verticut. We're literally just taking away all the side shoots that are growing laterally and getting those out and standing the grass up. So when we cut it, it cuts a lot more even. That's the only purpose of this. And another purpose today is that we are going to be picking up some of those stalks off the leaves that are still currently on the ground after I've blown off. Okay, so that's just the one pass we're doing, and this is all we've taken out. So we can see we've got a mixture of stuff. We've got some nice side shoots, which is what we wanted, but equally we're still scraping off some of the slimy, grassy, horrible stuff off the floor as well, which is also good. We've had a lot of rain in the last 2 weeks, Wednesday especially. Absolutely chucked it down all day, roads were flooded all over, but we're still able to get on this because we've been putting the drainage in a bag on over the course of the last 2 seasons, so it's paying dividends. No way would I have been able to get on this 2 years ago before that without doing any damage, especially around about that area. The mower would have just been sliding through water on the surface, so it really is a good product. So what we'll do now is, I'm not going to go on, I'm quite happy with that in terms of where we're at. It's picked up everything nicely, so what I'm going to do is get straight on with the cylinder, and then that will be it in terms of what we're doing here today with the machines. So while I just swap over to the cylinder cartridge, let's just have a catch up at the Posh Job, because I've just been there before here this morning just to see how that result has kicked in. That we did Monday, and we're going to put some bays on there as well. So let's join Dan over there now and let's see what's happened there. Okay, so it's Friday the 18th of October. Just nipped back to Posh Job to have a quick look to get it cut. Look at this colour we've got just after 5 days, after the Refine, Winter Shield and Dan's Winter Magic main feeds, but then we had the Grace, the H2Go, the Stella, the Orbit as well. So we're going with the bays today, so we're going to cut doubles again, and then we can keep these worm casts at bay and keep this looking really nice. Look how deep green that colour is just after 5 days. Absolutely fantastic. We're just going over now with the Hair to Harrier 48, following on the good work from Monday, keeping it on setting 3, which is a great height for this time of year. Okay, so we're going to go on with the bays now. As I said on Monday, we don't mix this with anything because this needs to go on and stay dry for as long as possible. So if you put this on the day before rain, it's going to reduce its effectiveness. So what we're going to do is, it's simple. I've just filled my tank up with 10 litres already of just plain water. And because we know the lawn's 500 square metres and this tank does 500 square metres, I'm just going to pour that in. It's just a little bit thicker than water. Just a bit more of a gloop to it. But it still doesn't need rinsing out, it still all falls out of the bottle. And I've just got some more water here, which I'll just finish. I've not got my filter in because it's a clean bottle, so there's no rubbish in it. And I'll just fill this up to the top. And then we're good to go, and we'll get that on. We'll see what kind of results we get with it. It's just different everywhere. Some people are putting it on and saying they're having fantastic results. Some are saying it's reducing. I've not heard anybody yet who's said it's not worked at all. But I put it on, as you've already heard, at Britain's Best Lawn, and we've had some great results there, as you've seen, so it's only a good thing. So let's go. Okay, so look at this, look how green that is. You wouldn't even know we've scarified just 5 days ago. Put the feeds on, as you know, put that Winter Shield, Refine, and Dan's Winter Magic. Absolutely fantastic products. Just can't believe the depth of green we're seeing, and it's all across all my jobs where I've put it on. People who've used it as well are saying the same thing, so it's a great product, or 3 great products. So what we're going to do now is we're going to treat these worm casts. Got my bays ready to go. We've seen the results already from the application at former Britain's Best Lawn, so we're going to mix it up here. I'll show you how to do that now, and then that here is done. So I just wanted to show you some of the jobs I've been doing and others have been doing with the product. So we've got Lee Mason's dad's, that was all put on 2 weeks ago and it's really kicked in. Peter's job was from the same tank mix as well with the autumn punch, and the back lawn is looking absolutely fab as well, because normally it's deteriorated by now as it's in the shade lot. We've got my customer Stan and Josie up in Bromley Cross, where it's looking fantastic. Then we've got Staunce on the grass down in Somerset doing a great job on this lawn using the products, and a friend of mine, Paul Ford, who's put it on his front lawn and he's got those results. And don't forget Lee Stonebake Kelly up in Hartlepool, who's had some great results with the products also. And we'll finish off at the sheep job on the front, which is looking equally good. So we're spraying the bays on now. It was a bit windier today, as you can see, with the trees moving. We had a great day Monday, but that wasn't repeated today. But nevertheless, we still was able to get it on. Okay, so that's the bays on. We don't need to water that in. The minute it gets wet and watered in, it's going to reduce its effectiveness. It kind of sits as a barrier, and when the worms come up, they say, I don't like that, and then they go back down. It doesn't harm them whatsoever, so it's completely harmless. So at 20 quid, it's worth a shot. If you've got a lawn which is 50 square metres, you're going to get 10 applications, and it works out like 2 quid an application. So it's not that dear to have a go with, and it might just solve your problem. So let's join you back now with Dan at former Britain's Best Lawn, and we'll finish up there. Okay, so I've swapped over the cartridge. We're back on the cylinder now. Always remember, when you're vertical or scarified and you've been down here, remember to lift it back up. We just turn this knob here, bring it all the way back up. I'm going to cut at 27 today, see where we are. Do one pass, and if I feel it's taking too much off or not enough off, I can adjust it. But what we can't do is stick the grass on. So we start high and then work our way down. Oh yes, it looks absolutely beautiful. Now I just want to show you a picture from last week before we put the bays on. We can see in a strip that there's loads of worm cast damage just in the second large stripe from the house. If we just have a look back now, now where we're at that same point, or even though it's a single stripe, we can see that there's hardly any worm cast damage, and that is because of the bays effect. Okay, that's this video done and dusted. Hopefully you're as pleased with the results that I'm seeing as I am. It's been not so much hard work, weather's done it all for us, and the products, I've literally just come in and cut it as normal. So what we're going to do now is just leave this, keep applying the products every 2 to 4 weeks just to keep that disease at bay, because Winter Shield and Refine together giving us about 10 days of disease resistance going forward. So we want to keep that at bay, because as that temperature still is high towards the end of October, early November, there's always an outbreak all over the northwest of England, and we come the next day and it's like, oh my God, what has happened? But hopefully this year we're not going to get that, because these products are going to do the biz for us. So remember as well, we've got the 15% discount code from Field Compost, which is DHLE15, and that is going on for as long as possible. I don't know, just there's no end date, let's just say that. There's no end date for that. So take advantage of that, and we'll see you next time when we'll be doing something else, somewhere else, lawn related. So until then, take care, and we'll see you soon.